Welcome to this short video tour of Seneto. She is a 1987 build Hallberg-Rassy 352. Seneto is in fantastic condition and benefits from a lot of recent additions and maintenance work done by the current owners. This is the cockpit area with these lovely blue cushions for sitting out in. The main sheet just behind the steering wheel here, easily accessed by the helmsperson, who also has on the pedestal a large steering compass, engine controls. We also have the sea fire extinguisher, and she has an intruder alarm as well. I'll go over the instruments in a minute. These are the primary winches for the sheets. Genoa sheets. She also has an additional winch back here. What's happened on Seneto is that there's 4 lines brought back to the cockpit, which are the reefing lines, the kicker and the halyard, which allows the mainsail to be set from the cockpit, which is not something that we used to do with the 352s when they were originally built. There's a slab reefing main there. Up the rig, single spreader rig, radar reflector, wind instruments, aerials and a Windex. Lovely wide decks for walking down on the 352. We have an additional car in the track here as well. Let's go past the midship cleats, handrails on the coach roof. There's 3 hatches forward here set into the deck. These are all relatively new. There is not a single scratch nor glazing on any of these hatches. Life raft sits here. As we come forward, you can see a large wide foredeck. There's a Lumar winch here, Lofgren's windlass, up and down electric buttons. This was installed in 2015, still lovely and shiny and new. Anchor locker forward, also for fender storage. A single bow roller with the CQR engine, CQR anchor. Here we have a Harken furling drum and foil. This is all new last year when the rig was serviced and standing rigging replaced. The teak deck, big concern on 352s usually. Well, the owners had this all lifted and recorked. The planks were sanded, all new dowels, all new screws, low profile screws. This deck's in phenomenal condition, not a concern moving forward for new owners. As you look aft, you can see the traditional Hallberg-Rassy windscreen, aluminium framed with an opening centre section. There's a lot of new running rigging on this boat also. The mainsail benefits from these cars which have bearings in. It's fully battened. Dropping and raising the mainsail is a breeze. Walking aft down the port side. Strangely, we have the opening gate stanchions on each side, but the wires haven't been modified. Not a bother, easily done. The canvas again is quite new. Within, I think, certainly 2 years. It's a very durable canvas. It's not a standard Hallberg-Rassy fit. The zips are incredibly robust. She also has the cockpit extension that encompasses the whole cockpit when you're not sailing. Here we are in the cockpit. There's a table that sits here, seating for 4 people, self-draining teak grating on the sole. There is the SL70 radar. Got these lovely trays or outdoor chart tables on the Hallberg-Rassy. Really useful for stowing things, keeping a chart folded up maybe. Engine controls there. She's recently upgraded with the i60 Raymarine instruments. She has a Furuno GPS. There is also an autopilot. There's an Icon VHF with a cockpit speaker. We just see the shore inlet here, shore power inlet as well. I just want to show you where the Raymarine is. Within touching distance of the helmsperson. There's also the John Boy quick release for the life raft. Down below on Seneto we have this lovely saloon area. There's a very large table taking centre stage with bottle storage in the centre. Both of these berths open up into wider sea berths. I'll show you that in a moment. On the starboard side, just as you come down the companionway steps, is the galley area. There are additional shelf drawers forward of the cooker. We also have a double stainless steel sink with a manual water pump and hot and cold pressurized water. The icebox is cooled by a 12-volt compressor, and then you have a 2-burner hob with a gas oven. Plenty of storage behind these sliding doors and cupboards above. Looking forward, we have the 6-foot starboard sea berth with storage below. The general condition down below is very good. The upholstery is in good condition, and the woodwork is, I would say, excellent condition. Just look at this bulkhead. There's no sign of pictures being hung up here. It's all very uniform and all very dark. No UV damage. 1987 models of the 352 benefited from louvered doors in lieu of solid doors with ventilation above. They also have a few centimetres extra headroom in the saloon. This backrest comes up. This is the same on both sides to create this really big wide berth, sea berth here. There's a reading lamp as well. Nicely appointed accommodation. We can move forward. There's more storage by way of these two large hanging lockers on the starboard side. The Forepeak is a traditional V berth. Again, over 6 foot long. There's an infill there. Storage below, as well as these drawers which allow quick access to things you need in a hurry. The locker up here also houses all the windlass electrics and the motor, keeping it out of the elements. And then we have these large drawers, shelves each side as well. More stowage and personal belongings. On the port side, as you head forward, is the heads compartment. We have a standard marine heads, shower stool, a china sink with mirror above. There's stowage by way of these two lockers you can see. There's an opening hatch above this picture and a port light as well. Here's the view aft from the Forepeak. You've got 4 steps coming down from the cockpit. You've got handrails there, also handrails on the ceiling as well. Plenty of space to move around. Let's go and have a look at the chart table. By modern standards, this is a very large chart table, forward facing. The owner used a PC for his navigation, so there is no chart plotter as such. The GPS feed was taken from the Furuno in this picture on the left hand side there. And then that was used to plot waypoints, etc, etc. There's the VHF clock and barometer. Just behind the chart table we have the 12-volt distribution panel, which has gauges also for water, fuel and battery voltage. The engine meter there is reading 2917 engine hours. We also have some additional electronics here, which includes the quick release John Boy system for the life raft, the heating, automatic bilge pump, there's a gas alarm, carbon monoxide alarm and another voltmeter. Going through the aft cabin, there's another hanging locker on the outboard side. We have a single berth on the port side, and on the starboard side there's a large double berth. These are brand new memory foam mattresses that have never been used, which are custom made to fit the boat. Underneath there is a small amount of locker space, but there's also the autopilot and steering gear underneath here as well. There is an opening hatch above this picture, 2 port lights and reading lights on the forward bulkhead. And that's the walkthrough through to the chart table. In this hanging locker here, we can see there is a brand new, well, I say brand new, very recent Master Volt battery charger wearing away. Just inboard of the walk through to the aft cabin is this wonderful engine space. This is all insulated, sound and heat. It's also very well lit. Centre stage is the Volvo Penta 2003 Turbo, which the owner has kept very well maintained throughout his ownership. Just give you a quick look at this as best I can. Also in here was the hot water tank, water pumps, bilge pumps. We got the steering cables coming down from the cockpit there, Espaca heating. On the bulkhead here is a extinguisher, automatic extinguisher, which can be fired from the cockpit. Oodles of space in here. It's very easy to access all these systems. She has an additional temperature sensor on the exhaust, which will shut down the engine if it overheats. And just here is the RCD. She has two 20-volt systems for the battery charger. There's outlets in the around the cabins, and also she can heat the water from 220 volts. The front of the engine can be accessed for removing this panel. This is in the saloon under the steps. It allows you to get to all the belts and pumps on the front of the engine.